2 a.m. on a weekday night, the streets might be empty to bustle, but outside Orchard Cine Leisure, a popular shopping mall with round-the-clock pool halls, or hunched over at gaming centers, or ambling at void decks and parks. There are some who seem to be making the streets their home. Interestingly, many seem to be below the age of 20. 6 years ago, Edgar was one such teenager. He was then only 13.
I was in my school uniform, I was in my school bag, so I just ran out to Cine Leisure, started wandering around, eating, going to arcades, having fun, all on my own. So this continued until it was around 3 a.m. in the morning. Then I didn't know where to go and sleep, so it was just like, okay, I'm trying to go and wander around the road until it's morning, then I can go back to school.
When teenagers run away, most of the time they don't make the headlines. According to police, between 2005 and 2007, on average, 3,000 youths under the age of 16 were reported missing. About 70% of them were traced. Counselors say that most of these teens simply run away, and abductions are rare. Where do these teens go to? And more importantly, why do they leave home in the first place?
Edgar comes from a middle-income family. His family owned a boat, and his parents would take him and his sister on holidays twice a year. At 13, he was studying in one of Singapore top secondary schools. Yet he hated school, and he hated going home.
What was your relationship like with your parents?
It was more or less like a business transaction. It's not a family, it's you do well, you get rewards. If you don't do well, you get a beating. That's it. I already told my parents before, I said that we really have to help me because I feel really, really tired of all my studies, everything, but they just said that everybody in Singapore is doing this. All parents are putting their children through this, and if they can take it, why not you?
One day, Edgar went to school as he normally would, but he did not go home. Instead, he loitered on the streets for as long as he could, determined not to go back. But at 3 a.m., police caught up with him, and his parents had to bail him out the next morning.
How did your parents react when they saw you? What was it like when you got home?
Furious. The canes started flying. They are really fed up, they're angry, they're just so upset at why you ran away from home. But at that point of time, I didn't really want to talk so much to them.
It's their solution to whatever's going on at home. It's their way of gaining control of the environment. It's also their way of, for a few, their way of gaining that freedom. And for another lot of youth, it's an addiction. It becomes an addiction because it's a quick fix solution.
In the United States, over 1,000 children and teens run away from home every single day. Reasons? Violence at home, breakdown of family life, teen sex, and a lack of confidence in their ability to cope or succeed. In Singapore, the Singapore Children's Society says 9 out of the average 12 teen cases they see every week have episodes of runaway. More often than not, unsupervised children, state of marriages, parental conflict, and disagreements over boy-girl relationships are the main reasons.
You know, each and every time that you ran away, how did you feel? Were you happy that your parents would be worried? How did you feel?
I was happy they were worried. I felt a bit happy that at least they were concerned about where I went, but I was still angry with them because of the competitiveness, the studies, the stress they put me through when I was a young kid.
Do you think running away was a cry for attention?
Correct. I think that was what I really wanted. I just wanted someone to hear the cry that I really needed someone.
Many teens who run away become repeat runaways, and for the subsequent time, they stay out longer. In the course of the next 2 months, Edgar ran away a total of 8 to 9 times. In his words, it was a pattern of come back, run, come back, run. The longest he stayed away from home was 1 week. That week, he stayed at a motel in the red light district.
As a 13-year-old, how do you afford staying in motels?
The only way you can, steal your friends' money. That's what I did. I opened their windows, took their foreign currency, changed it into Singapore currency, and just used it for my daily necessities when I was running away from home.
And what was that 1 week like for you?
So exciting. You feel that you can really do things which you're not able to do when you're just living a life with your family.
Edgar had the money to check into motels when he was on the run. Others had friends who were willing to take them in. But not everyone has the same luxury. Where do the other runaways go to? Well, this hideout may not be the most comfortable of places, but according to some teenagers we spoke to, this is where some of them actually take refuge. Teens and counselors we spoke to tell Get Real that many of the teens hide out at playgrounds. These playgrounds provide shelter from the elements of nature and the occasional police patrol. It's illegal for 16-year-olds to remain out after 11 p.m. at night. Parks, too, are also where these teenagers take refuge because there's ready access to toilets and showering facilities.
They're smarter today in running away. They don't just stay in one place. They actually avoid detection by constant movement. They will move after 1 day, 2 days. They will move from one place to another.
After the break, children are now starting to run at a younger age.
How old were you when you first ran away from home?
8 years old.
Edgar was 13 years old when he first ran away from home, and that was 6 years ago. Counselors at Get Real spoke to say that runaways are getting younger. In fact, 2 out of every 10 under 18 runaway cases that they deal with are under the age of 12, and Taufik was one of them. How old were you when you first ran away from home?
8 years old.
8 years old?
Yeah.
Weren't you scared?
Yes, I scared because I scared about the police. I scared about my mother. And if my friends, I sleep in the deck and then with my friends. And then we sometimes have money. We just go 7-Eleven, eat, and we just hang around, do nothing.
Counselors say that runaways are getting younger because young children now are more daring and willing to experiment. Taufik says that he was bored at home. His mother is sole breadwinner of the family and spends most of her time at work. But when Taufik disappeared, she was frantic.
My parents vex. He will search me block to block, and then if he didn't see me right, and then he just go home, wait. Sometimes he search, and 1 more hour, and then he go to another place. Then sometimes I saw her, right, I just run away from her, and then I go to my home, my house, and then I pretending that I was sleeping.
Taufik is what counselors have termed a repeat runaway. He can't remember how many times he's run away, and each time he grew bolder, staying out for longer periods of time. The last few times he ran away together with his friends, they took turns staying at each other's place.
my friends mastermind that we just meet at void deck, and then we just meet for 12 every time 12 midnight. We wait at the void deck. 3-4 person will meet, call each other what time will they all come. After that we wait half an hour and then we go and around, smoke, play cards.
Well, it's a lot easier for teens to run away from home these days because they don't run away on their own. Quite a few of them make pacts with their friends, cousins. We had a case some time ago where a boy ran away with his younger sister. So there is companionship.
Some of the friends Taufik ran away with were 8 years older than him. They would give him money for meals and cigarettes. In return, the young Taufik had to pledge his loyalty.
What made you run away from home time and time again?
Influence friends. My friends psycho me to do wrong thing, and then if I didn't do they all say they all will not friend me. Every night they all we overnight they all see one Bangladesh and then we just sleeping in the void deck or playground we sometimes rob her, rob him, and then if we take the money or handphone. The handphone we sell or we use. We sometimes sell, get 100, 200, and then we can buy anything we want. And then my friends buy his cigarette to smoke, and then I get $50. I buy food for overnight.
Taufik's mother realized that she could no longer keep him at home. She applied for beyond parental control, and Taufik has since been sentenced to a home. In 1997, it was reported that there was an alarming increase in the number of runaways. But since then, the reports of runaway teens rarely make the news, although counselors say that the numbers are actually on the rise. Those that actually make the headlines are when runaways get into some form of trouble.
We're talking about the possibility of them getting involved with other devious characters on the street, who would get them involved in like selling contraband cigarettes, for example, getting involved in gang activities such as, like the loan sharks for one. And one thing will lead to another, as much as some of these people provide them the safe houses, the shelter, the security, the sustenance, the food. There is also what I call the invisible danger, because these same people could also get them involved in other criminal acts.
16-year-old Farah started running away from home at the age of 13. The longest that she stayed out was 4 months. She lived with a then 21-year-old boyfriend and got herself pregnant.
When the first week I ran away for that 4 months, right? First week I was like vomiting already. Then I was like, I think I haven't come my menstrual for 2 months, my period for 2 months.
Farah's parents were both working long hours, hence leaving her unsupervised most of the time. Moreover, Farah felt that her father loved her younger brother more than her.
He pampered a lot of my little brother. We asked for $2 for pocket money, so he said they don't have money. Then my little brother want to buy yo-yo skateboard, is like over $10 or something. He can buy.
On top of that, her parents were constantly quarreling about an affair her father allegedly had. The final straw came when she returned home one day to find her parents fighting. She packed her bags and left. It wasn't difficult for Farah to find a place to stay. Her friends took her in. But it was also the same group of friends who taught her how to get high on cough and flu medicine. And as she was already working part-time in a fast food outlet, she had the means to support herself and stay independent. When she came home 2 days later, she realized that her parents were not as worried as she hoped they would be.
He never say anything. Then he never ask your mom. Then he said, yeah, even worse. Oh, go to hell with them.
After that, Farah ran away on another 2 occasions, each time staying out for a longer period of time. The time she got pregnant was from her last runaway escapade. She miscarried the baby shortly after and broke off with a boyfriend.
Then he said, you kill the baby, right? You kill my child. That's why you don't like me. You don't like me. That's why you kill that child, right? Then he was like, punch my face, then beating me up. Then I take cover. And he just take the stool, the mirror stool. I just take and just throw it behind my back. And it was like painful lah.
Farah has since gone home. Till today, her parents are unaware of everything that she's gone through.
But do you think to yourself, maybe if I didn't run away, I wouldn't have gotten myself in those situations?
No, I didn't. I didn't feel any regret or anything.
In most runaway cases, parents are often unable to deal with it because the child has given up talking with the parents. Counselors say that the best solution is to seek help from a third party, a relative, family, friend, or counselor. Farah is now undergoing counseling, and she's thankful that she was never arrested by police when she was on the run. Edgar, who also picked up smoking and drugs while he was on the run, was less fortunate.
I was 15. I was out of cash, so I called my auntie. I just wanted to borrow some money from her. She asked me to go to her house to borrow it from her. So when I went back, she wasn't at home. So I was really desperate at the point of time. So I just climbed over the fence. I went into her room, took some stuff, took some cash, and I saw the maid. But during that point of time, there was a knife on me. So I was a bit frightened, so I just took out the knife and pointed it at her. So she got a shot, and I quickly ran away. So I went down to Bugis, and some people saw me carrying a knife when I threw it away into the dustbin, and the police called me.
Edgar was sentenced to the Reformative Training Center, or RTC. The period in RTC gave Edgar time for introspection. Religion helped as well. In June this year, Edgar was released, and he says that his days of running are over. Today, Edgar is trying to get his life back on track at the new Carers Mission Home, a halfway house for ex-offenders. In the last 2 years, he hasn't gone home.
What is your relationship with your family like now?
We are on slightly better terms. We talk, we chat, but there's this certain amount of insecurity that's there that they don't dare to open up to me, and there's still this wall that hasn't been broken down fully yet.
What do you regret the most from all those times when you ran away when you were younger?
I destroyed my life. Everything I did, it just shattered my life. It just wasted a few years of my childhood, and it's not really what someone should do during this present age.